Hey guys, just a very quick video. You've seen the news by now. Guardiola has confirmed that Leroy Sane is going to go. I mean, water is where the Titanic has sunk. Not sure you've heard. No, it's very, very old news. We all know this by now. But still, we've heard officially from Guardiola's mouth now during the press conference. This is the quote from Guardiola. He said, Leroy says he doesn't want to extend his contract. That means he's going to leave. He said that Sane's rejected a new contract 2 or 3 times, and that's that then. Then it's over. I guess that's it. Sane is going to leave. I don't think I'm really surprised. I don't think anyone's really surprised. I know a few people have been hanging on to the Sane thing for a while now, and I don't understand personally why. I mean, maybe it's wishful thinking, but every video I ever do, every comment, even the starting lineups recently, people have been going, where's Sane? Like, have you been genuinely surprised? Like, you really think Guardiola's going to play someone regularly that is leaving, that's made it obvious that he's leaving? I'm genuinely surprised at the surprise. That is my shock here, really. I know people want him to stay, and I get that, but I'm just so tired of this, really. I'm not even remotely surprised that he's going. I mean, we've been slapped in the face now for a year with this news that he's going to be leaving Manchester City Football Club. And I think we all knew this was going to happen. And as a result, I guess when you get a little bit, get used to it, you start to kind of just, you mentally switch off from a player. And as of the start of this season, I guess, I switched off for Leroy Sane a long time ago. Now, of course, I want him to play regularly and maybe a change of heart, but that was never going to happen. I think the noise has been so strong from Bayern because the response from Sane to Bayern has been so strong. I'm almost certain Bayern wouldn't be so publicly annoying with this, and I'm sorry to Bayern fans who are going to watch this. I'm going to put it on Twitter. But they've been very annoying publicly with this in terms of having all their lead people come out and say Sane's part of their squad, basically. They wouldn't have been doing that if they didn't know he was definitely going to come. And Sane must have basically signed, I don't know, he's not signed anything, but he's basically gone, I am 100% coming, don't worry. So as soon as that was really obvious, as soon as their strength in with their statements by him came to light, I think it's been pretty obvious for some time now that Sane was gone. So mentally, personally, I switched off. Is it a blow? Of course it's a fucking blow. It's a huge blow. Leroy Sane can actually be quite inconsistent. And that's one of the reasons why he's probably going, because he could never guarantee or nail a place down in the team. And he had some disagreements with Guardiola. Fair enough, that'll happen. But he's still absolutely quality. We've got these blue tinted specs now, and we only remember the perfect sides. But he can be quiet in games. But the thing about Sane, even when he was quiet, he still is Leroy Sane. He still has that pace, that incredible skill, that drive, that potential, that goal threat, and that ability to set up goals as well. Sane is a world-class talent. I don't think he's there yet. I think he's like just below world-class in terms of overall ability, but his potential is easily world-class if he's not already pushing world-class anyway. He's a quality player. And I think the reason that this stings so much is because it's the first time in our modern history anyway that we've lost a player that we largely wanted to keep. And we did want to keep Sane. We did offer him a contract. And everyone else has stayed. Sane stayed. Aguero stayed. Not Sane, sorry. Silva stayed. Aguero stayed. We kept Yaya Toure until we wanted to get rid of him. All the big players that we've had have stayed. So we're not used to a player pushing out and leaving. Tevez kind of did it, but, that was a little bit different at the time because it was so toxic that we kind of accepted it. Whereas Sane hasn't really been toxic. He's trained, he's been at training, all that kind of stuff. So it's a weird time. We're in a weird time now where we have to accept that occasionally players will leave. For what it's worth, this happens to basically every club in the world. I think we're just not used to it. I think we're not used to seeing this happen, so it stings a little bit more than maybe it should do. It happens to all the big clubs. The big clubs always have players that want to leave here and there. And we have to probably admit to ourselves that we're currently not at the stature of a Barca, Real, or maybe even a Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich in particular to a German winger. Now, I think it's only natural that a German player will sometimes want to play for Bayern Munich. He's grown up in Germany with Bayern on this pedestal. They are the team that young lads in Germany look up to and see as elite teams. And he probably wants to go home, There's loads of reasons why young people want to go home sometimes. He wants to get out of Manchester. Can't really blame him because I'm looking out the window now and it's pissing it down. I know it's not that much better in Germany, but he probably just wants to go back home. If you're going to be miserable and grey somewhere, you'd rather do it close home, wouldn't you? And I know it's shit, and I know it's kind of difficult to take, but I think we just have to move on now. But it does sting, and it stings because of how it's happened, I guess, because he's run down his contract. And also, the thing that's going to be really painful to accept is that we're going to lose him for an absolute pittance, aren't we? We're going to lose him for next to nothing. I wouldn't be surprised if we're losing now between 30 and 40 million pounds. 30 to 40 million pounds. So Leroy Sane is just a kick in the teeth. You won't get more than that because one, he's only got half a year left on he's got a year left on his contract, so they'll basically try and run that down. And also, we're in a post-coronavirus kind of pandemic world. We're still in the midst of it, if we're being honest. We're still in that world. So the money's going to be different in the game after that. Manchester City won't spend as much on transfers, and Bayern won't spend as much on transfers, at least for a year or two anyway, until the game catches back up. The recession will hit hard across the world in football. So that's going to be painful because we know he's worth 100 million, at least 100 million, 120 million. It makes me wish that we just sold him last summer now, but I guess we thought we could convince him to stay and get a better deal, but I guess no one saw this coming. I thought maybe that when he got back, we would have played him, but it took him a long time, I guess, to largely get back to fitness. We didn't see him before the lockdown. Now I've got a feeling maybe we will see him 1 or 2 times, but I don't know. I'm not sure. The only reason we might see him is to show that he's fit so we can sell him, if that makes sense, to maybe get a decent fee for him. But we're going to have to accept that basically that's it and just move on. I mean, personally, I moved on several months ago and I know some people have been hanging on to it. But guys, let it go. Seriously, let it go. I did ask on Twitter, who do people want to replace Sane? I've had 92 replies in 6 minutes, which is pretty impressive. I'll go through some of the names. Sancho comes up an awful lot. For what it's worth, Sancho is my number one choice. I want a young lad who knows Manchester City style, who's guaranteed goals and assists, has loads of potential, and bear in mind we can get Sancho for 15% cheaper than anyone else due to his a matching fee and a sell-on fee that Manchester City have got, so we don't have to pay the sell-on fee. They'd have to pay the selling fee, so we get him cheaper. Sancho for me would be the choice. Also, Sancho's weight for me is the fact that he's homegrown potentially after a year. I mean, you put 10 million on a player just for their homegrown status, and the fact that we'll get that, a guy be club trained as well because of the amount of time he would have been in Manchester City before he's 21 if we sign him this summer. That would be my choice. Some people are saying Jayden Braff. Jayden Braff would be very interesting. I'm not convinced he's in Manchester City's good books at the moment. I'm not convinced that Guardiola likes his mentality. Maybe I'm wrong there, but there are question marks about his commitment in training, and he's seen as a bit of a maverick and that. But Jayden Braff is exceptionally talented, and maybe Manchester City might say, do you know what, we'll stick with Sterling, Bernardo, maybe Foden as well on the wing, and then Mahrez, and we'll just give one of the two of the kids a go. We might just give Braff a chance to be the one that comes off the bench in cup games and stuff like that. I'd be happy with that because we've gone this whole season without Sane. We could have done with Sane, but we've gone this whole season without him. We've got to the point now where I'm just kind of used to it. And maybe we could just plan forward a little bit. Some people have said Leon Bailey. We were linked to him for a couple of years ago. Bailey's not really kicked on in the way that I would like. So maybe we'd get him cheaper as a result. But I'm not really... I'm not really that excited by Leon Bailey. A lot of people saying Ferran Torres, who seems a very exciting player. I would like him as well. He's a good player. Some people saying Son from Spurs. That would have been amazing. That would be very good. I don't think we'll get him. I don't think we can afford him. We can afford him, but not afford him, if you know what I mean. I think Spurs would want like 100 million or whatever, and dealing with Daniel Levy on that would be terrible. But Son would be fantastic. He's Manchester City's chief tormentor, and I hate playing him. And he was absolutely exceptional last season in the games we don't talk about in the Champions League. He was absolutely brilliant. Looking at more replies, people saying Kai Havertz, he would be very good as well. Yeah, of course. Why not? Havertz would be fantastic, but he's not really a winger. It's not very like for like that, isn't it? Some people saying Mbappe. Really, guys, really? You think we're going to drop $250 million on Mbappe during a recession? No fucking chance, unfortunately. I would love it, but I think we're being a bit unrealistic. Ferran Torres, people keep mentioning. That'd be good, wouldn't it? So largely, a lot of people are just saying the obvious names. I do think we should sign someone personally. I think we need a winger. I just think we do. Maybe Foden will play on the left a little bit more. Maybe this is a chance for a young player to make a name for themselves. Maybe it will be Braff or someone like that. Maybe Cole Palmer will impress. I know he's not a winger, but maybe he'll impress and get more squad games. Who absolutely knows? It's weird to think that Leroy Sane, that wonderful, mercurial Leroy Sane, isn't going to be a Manchester City player, but he's been a Bayern player for several months now in all but name. It's a sad time, but we're Manchester City. We'll carry on winning trophies. We watched Manchester City beat Arsenal, and I guess if we're being honest, a little bit of perspective, losing Leroy Sane, given everything that's going on at the moment, giving life, giving the Manchester City's quality, it isn't the end of the world. We could have literally gone through the end of the world a few months ago, apparently. We'll be okay, guys. We'll be all right. Manchester City will carry on. We will carry on winning games. Even if Sane is going to go. When he'll go, we don't know yet, of course. Just Guardiola's confirmed what we already know, that he will be moving on. And that is the end of that chapter, I guess. Hopefully, we get at least 50 million for him. 55 million now, I would be relatively happy with that because it's a big chunk towards the next player that we could potentially get in to replace him. But who knows? Maybe we'll sign some like 19, 18-year-old winger that's a wonder kid that hardly any of us have really heard about, who's like, I don't know, some special kid, and we'll see how he goes. That would be very good, wouldn't it? For now, though, let me know in the comments what you make of this. It's a sad day, but it's an inevitable day, and we have to take it on the chin and move on. Like, comment, subscribe. Go check out the videos for the fan reactions. And I'm going to do a video as well with Sam Lee and David Mooney, which hopefully should be on either tomorrow or very soon, like this afternoon. Love you all. In a bit.